Hi there, welcome to my studio. Thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Siobhan and I share videos about a dynamic and expressive approach to drawing the figure. I share tips and techniques specifically for gesture drawing, and I also share my own process. So if you like figure drawing, then definitely subscribe here and give this video a like as well. I also wanted to let you know that I write about figure drawing every week over on Substack, and I'd love you to join me there. So I'm going to leave a link to the sign up in the description below. Check it out and join me on Substack. So today in my studio, I spent some time making some quick gestural studies of various hand poses. I was drawing from random images really on Pinterest, but you can do these studies using your own hand as reference, and that's really effective. I wanted to share my drawing process with you and just give you some tips on making these gestural studies of anatomical features for figure drawing. So right up front, I want to say that I am not overly focused on breaking down the anatomical structure. I'm not drawing the bones in this exercise. I'm really interested in surface forms, what we can see with the eye. And for that, I rely on two techniques to draw: gesture drawing and contour drawing. Plus, I also attempt a little bit of shading as well. But if you want actual anatomical information about the bones and the muscles of the hand, there are tons of resources on YouTube. In this video though, let's just take this practice of gesture and apply it to a simple study of one isolated part of the figure, in this case, the hands. So starting out, the very first thing that I always do is I aim to make an overall gesture of the pose that the hand is in. Every hand shape is a pose in itself, with areas of tension, or as in this case, maybe a relaxed quality. And getting this sort of feeling in your first rough pass helps you to achieve a cohesive drawing in the end. It helps you to capture that overall feeling of the image. Once I've blocked in the basic gesture of the pose, then I will try to identify in my drawing the areas that define that pose. And in this case, it's usually the tips of the fingers or the knuckles. Without knowing anatomy, these visible landmarks will help you to get precise in your drawing. Hands are easily the most complex part of the figure, and I'll be completely honest, I tend to absolutely avoid drawing hands in my figure drawings. I'll just, try to make a vague attempt and really just focus more on the rest of the figure, which is fine. When it comes time to maybe draw a more finished drawing, then you need to focus on hands. Also, I really think that hands are easily the most expressive part of the figure, and in a pose, they can often be a really important part of the overall gesture. Now, a word about shading. Because of the overall shape of the hands, including the fingers, there's usually a lot of very defined shadows around the forms. And these shadows are super helpful for articulating shapes and for refining your study. Again, in my particular process, I approach shading a little bit loose and gestural. That's just me though. You can really dial into the forms here if you wanted to by rendering shadows carefully. The fingers are often thought of as cylinders, but I like to think of them more square in form, so that there are definite planes to look out for. Lighter tones on the tops and the side planes are often in shadow. The knuckles are clear markers to look out for. By identifying them, you can essentially break up the shape of the finger into 2 or 3 blocks. But the thing to keep in mind for drawing the knuckles is that, visually speaking, the surface area or the visual that we see on the outer form is actually quite a large area than you might at first think. So just be aware of that. I often see beginners, when they're attempting studies of hands, will draw the knuckle shapes a little bit too small. So overall, we tend to think of the hand as a block shape for the palm, and then 4 cylindrical shapes for the fingers plus the thumb. So in that sense, most people will be breaking down the hand into these separate shapes. But for me, in my approach to drawing, I find it useful to first draw the overall shape of the hand, almost like an envelope shape. And then once that's in place, I'll try to draw the fingers, get more specific about the details. So for the fingers, I'll try to plot the fingertips of each one, and that will give me the correct positioning. Once I've got that in place, what I do then is look for the negative spaces in between each finger, rather than trying to draw the fingers individually. The negative space is super helpful for getting accurate proportions and size. Not sure why, but I think when we focus on drawing fingers individually, it's a lot harder. But if you draw the negative space in between them, suddenly they appear in the right place and it's a lot easier. Now, I talked in this video that I'll link here about how gesture is as much a first principle in figure drawing as anatomy is. And I really firmly believe that. So check out that video if you haven't watched it already. It's a bit of a challenge to draw the gesture of the hands because they're so obviously anatomical. And because of the complexity, we just naturally want to simplify and break things down first. But I'd encourage you to practice this exercise of first drawing the overall gesture and maybe keep it going for as long as you can before you start breaking down into simplified shapes. I think you'll be amazed at how it can really bring a cohesiveness to your drawing. Finding that gesture in a pose and working with that really makes your whole drawing cohesive, if that makes sense. It's a unifying aspect of your drawing. So I think that's the main benefit to today's exercise. That is to draw the hands as one unit instead of 5 or 6 separate units. And actually, I think the merit of this exercise is that your drawing can be a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit more relaxed. And this is a great way to help you to develop confidence in your own drawing and also to develop, good eye-hand coordination. It also helps you to learn how to be selective in what you draw. It's a bit of a challenge, but if you are a subscriber to this channel, then you're well up for this type of a challenge. So that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your support here and your support over on Substack. Don't forget to join me there if you haven't already. And I hope you got some useful information out of this video, or at least, if nothing else, I hope it was inspiring for your own drawing practice. Let me know in the comments what you think, and do let me know if you are doing this exercise and how you get on. I'd love to hear your feedback. All right, have a wonderful week, happy drawing, and I'll look out for you in the next video.